What's up, party people? That's what I always say. Anyways, okay, I just want to do a little disclaimer here that yes, I talk with my hands. Yeah, I'm not mad about it either. As a matter of fact, it's encouraged in the serving world, whatever that means. Also, when people such as myself listen to music in the car, we're skipping songs, we're finding radio stations, we're looking down, whatever else, and more distracted. And lastly, when I'm on the phone with other people, not video phone, not all the time, but like when I'm on the phone, I am doing just as much behind the scenes where, elevated hands moving, this and that, whatever. So, yeah. So you can, I thought about this before I made these movies, while driving, but, carpool karaoke and all that other stuff that's going on, I'm not staring at myself in the screen, and also, it helps me stay awake on these hour-long drives to Ermac and back. There's a lady in the office and she's wearing full-blown makeup, and I'm like, yes, I could be doing that. I could be wearing makeup. And then I realized that I had to drive an hour each way, and I don't want to do makeup in the car because those days are behind me. So yeah, okay, it's 27 degrees outside and I'm wearing this because it's colder in Idaho Falls than it is here. All right, and I just got these in the mail from Wish. Ooh, yeah. And do you see my little fish in a bag? Looks like a little shark though. Shark in a bag earrings. I thought that would be cool for the kiddos today. I only have 2, but I have 2 kiddos and 2 groups today that I run. All right, I have notes on my hand from stories I want to tell, and I have some really good ones, but I think the one I'm gonna start with is from TGI Fridays. Okay, so at one point in a couple of my jobs, like Buffalo Wild Wings and TGI Fridays, I was a day server. I can't remember why. Oh, just because that's what they needed in TGI Fridays, and I had an open schedule. And at Buffalo Wild Wings, it was because I did the teen shelter thing at night and other jobs. I had a lot of night jobs. Oh my gosh, my screen protector went away. So it was like, I don't know, it was just what it was. So I did those things because, I don't know, I had other jobs going on. But besides that, and also, what the frickle sticks? TGI Fridays was my first job, and it paid the bills. Boy, did it pay the bills. And then, I don't know, it was really, it was a good base wage, Base wage in California was the base wage of everybody else. So tipped employees got the same rate that other employees got that weren't tip servers. So there was just one flat, wage for everybody. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I was trying to find my Fitbit charger and I was at a stop sign, so I thought I would do that. Oh man, that's a good thing because it's on 26%. Okay, so I was a daytime server. Strange, it's never happened, doesn't happen too much. I do what I'm told, but mostly kicking and screaming if I don't like it. Yeah. So I was a noob. My first or second year serving. I think I was still 20, so I wasn't old enough to be a bartender in California. And it was dead. It was a dead morning and dead afternoon. Probably some like Monday or Tuesday situation. There was no car clubs coming that day or anything, and if they were, it was earlier in the day. During a rush one time, I had a table full of Hispanics, and pretty close to the border. That was normal, and in California in general. When I moved to this area, I thought still, like, because I've been the minority in some schools and things and jobs, and just Hispanics are prevalent. And when I moved here, people would say, oh, did you see Tom? And I'm like, who's Tom? Like, oh, the native guy on table like 12. And I'm thinking, oh, the Hispanic guy? And they're like, no. So I had to like rework my mind because not everybody here is I don't know, Hispanic. I don't know. So I had a table full of younger boys, and Hispanics get a bad rap for tipping significantly less. Usually it's $2 to $6 on a bill, no matter what the bill is. And so servers size people up right away, determine how much service they're going to attend to a table. Not necessarily intentionally, that's snap decisions that get made. So young kids, already it's against them and whatever. But I like treat everybody the same. Excuse me. Well, I give everybody quality service, but I definitely don't treat everybody the same. I am they call me the sociopath server, but after watching Big Mouths, the latest season, I realized I just dial in. You know, I tune in to the right personality for the right table. For instance, my regional manager, Charlie, when we were still a franchise at Buffalo Wild Wings, and the financial CEO or the CFO of the franchise like saw me serving, and I forgot that Charlie was even sitting in my section, and I had late greet times, but I was like, hey, I'll be right with you, and I treated everybody really well. And it, like, my personality, you could be the worst stylist, the worst server, the worst anything, and your personality can prevent complaints, you know, like, can turn it around. You know how many bad hairstylists in my city I've seen that people claim are so good, and this is what I constantly hear. Well, it's not what I exactly wanted, but like I was like, he told me I looked so much better, and I'm like, that's personality. So, due to my personality, and the CFO and the regional manager saw my serving efforts, I was invited to go around the, you know, area, you know, around the country, to open more franchise stores under us, not Buffalo Wild Wings Corporation. And so I did 3 openings. I'll talk about that some other time. And due to our efforts and our franchise being so successful, Buffalo Wild Wings swooped us up. Corporation, now it's a corporation. So I had these boys at a table, a big table, and you know, this population was known for walking out. And also in our restaurant, if there was cash on the table, mostly kids would come by and swoop it. So we always thought it was our busters stealing our tips. No, it was other guests. Like, it was other kids or whatever taking the money off the table. And so you had to be vigilant. At TGI Fridays, I had to train all the FOH staff. You had to be in your section every 48 seconds. And you think that's a long time. It's not. I'll tell you right now, it's not. You should be in your section, you know, whatever. You know, we did have food runners, but those sections right there next to the kitchen, those were less popular stations, and they were like, you know, for noobs, and you were like encouraged / required to run food if your section was closest to the kitchen, because those 2 sections, or that one section, was, you know, not very busy. So there was like 8 of them. Their bill was whatever it was. And I went to go hand them the check, and they were gone. I mean, like, gone. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like scrambling. I'm walking around. I think I've only had 1 or 2 walkouts maybe. And at this time, you had to pay or be fired, in a sense. But that's illegal, but the paying does. So you could pay on your own. If they say pay or get fired, then that's probably, you know, bad. But to prevent getting fired, you would yourself pay the bill, right? But restaurants calculate this into their situation and will have walkouts cities, people know people, and that's not, I don't know. It doesn't happen very often. If it's happening to the same server, you ain't going to be a server there for much longer. I go into the lobby, and they all, like, yell at me, "Ah!" And they, like, say, "I bet you thought we were walking away," and, like, whatever. And I was like, yeah, to be honest, I did. And he's like, yeah, a lot of us Mexicans get a bad rap. And I was like, yeah, and you guys are kids, too. And he's like, yeah, and they slapped, like, $60 in my hand for a tip. And I was like, what? So, anyways, that's a different story. So, in the daytime, my only table in section 7, I think that was the best section, 7 or 8, those were the 2 good sections. It was the only section with booths in it, like back to back. So turn and burn, you know. And when we opened the upstairs, like, those weren't in our section, so you could get some huge parties up there, but, you know, we were just, the 7 and 8 section were turn and burn. So, it was dead. They were on my only 2 table. These 2 girls walk in, you know, whatever they're doing, just talking. I mean, they are taking their time eating, no big deal. And I think they ordered like a feast, like a lot of things for 2 people. Whatever, not judging. I go to give them the check, and they give me a check. They had this really nice planner. I don't even know what it was. Like, wow, that's pretty, you know, bougie planner for some, you know, young girls that, you know, carry, like, or wearing juicy on the butt, you know, matching terry cloth suits. They weren't velour at the time. It was terry cloth. I don't know why everybody loved those juicy suits. They were, like, crunchy because of the terry cloth. I'm not a fan. I don't know. And personally, I didn't want juicy on my butt because I was thinking about schwass, you know, sweaty. So, you know, I don't want juicy on my butt. You know, I don't know, because you can't see how nice the butt is in those terry cloth track suits, whatever. Anyways, and they give me this card. And I go to run it. But before I swipe, I look at it. And it has a Korean name on it, a male name. Definitely not a name you would expect from 2, like, Latina ex-girls, you know? Like, so, I'm like, I mean, it was like, it was Kim Jong, like, something, like, Kim Jen, or Kim Jo, or, something, like, a men's name, Ken. It was, like, Ken Chan, or something. And, on the back was a very, you know, blocky Asian signature with only like 3 letters. And I went back to the girls because at this time I was like, you know, I was the in-store trainer. I had to go to these conferences all the time. I had to uphold the standards, you know, so people look at me and I'm the example to these people I train. And my job as a trainer is to be, you know, somewhat of a person that if people feel uncomfortable, especially the people I've trained, that something is happening, I'm the liaison to the management or corporate, you know, HR, to remedy the situation. Because that's what you do, is if someone tells you something and, you know, it's not getting handled, that's whatever. So, alright, so, I mean, I think I'm the only server, too. And there's a bartender. I think it was Dawn. It had to have been Dawn, because Dawn worked Monday through Friday. I told the girls, you know, I cannot take this card as I suspect it's not yours. So, they, I don't know, one girl goes outside and she's like, no, in the lobby, and she's like talking on the phone, like, oh my gosh, like, blah, 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 pacing the lobby, like, for like a while, like 25 minutes. I don't even know. And then all of a sudden, she runs out into her car. I'm like, okay, maybe, you know, no big deal. The other one's still sitting there. And, you know, cell phones were a thing, but it wasn't like a thing that everybody had to have at this point. it was a thing that was like cool. Oh, right, someone's got a cell phone. Like, a cell phone was literally to get a hold of people because nothing else worked on there. Like, you could watch TV on there. Not in 2004. You could, not very well. You could have, like, basically it was like the only thing you could do was listen to music if you had the right music app and you had not an iPhone, and good luck with that, kind of situation. I think I had the LG phone that was white, and it had like the buttons on the outside that looked like I don't even know, like an iPhone, like with a dial on it, but it was like play, like skip, all that stuff. So the other girl didn't have a phone, is what I'm getting at. And all of a sudden, in this gray slip, because I would stand at the front. When I felt like I had a runner, I would stand at the front, and there was this lip, and I would just put my back to it so they wouldn't know I'm there. And so when I could hear them, and they were the only table, when I could hear them walk up, I could be like, hey, did you want to pay your bill? Because I gave it to you, and you're trying to walk out now, and I like crossed your path 1,000 times, right? Because once they left, you couldn't go out in the parking lot. It's a very big safety risk, right? And company won't protect you if you go chasing somebody. All right, I see her starting to walk up because the chick in the gray silver nice car backs up and starts honking, and homegirl like rushes out from the booth and tries to, like, I'm like, hey, did you want to pay that? Blah! She pushes me out of the way and like runs into the car, and they drive off. I'm like, I don't know what to do here, so I take the hit, so I get a write up, but I did the best I could. That was a weird situation because the girls, and I don't know how, but our restaurant was right on Highway 111. Highway 111 was 55 miles an hour, except on Sunday because it's an old, rich retirement community. These old people would go on their Sunday drive, with the top down and their hats on, going 20 miles an hour, and everything was on Highway 111. Everything. And matter of fact, if you didn't have anything on 111, good luck getting your business to stay open unless you were like right off the freeway, like In-N-Out and Costco and Bonds and all the things up there. Clark's. Oh, I loved Clark's. Clark's was my jam. Grocery store. So I turned on the news or something that night. I don't know. And those two girls got arrested. And I don't remember if it was at Petco or another store down 111, but they had armed robbery. Like, they were performing armed robbery they did a place in Coachella, and then they did a place in La Quinta, and then they came and ate in Palm Desert. And then in Palm Desert, they went robbed with a gun, Petco, like right next, Petco. And then I don't remember if they got arrested there or if they got arrested somewhere else. But they were like holding up the businesses, like with a gun. So like, I'm sitting here like, Mr. Chen, like, I can clearly tell this is not your card, and unfortunately the card holder needs to be present to use this card. Ah, don't shoot me! Like, ah! Oh, I don't even know. That was like a moment for me. And yeah, that was about that was between 2004 and 2003, 2007, I can't even be sure. Yeah, it was insane.